things are going about as well as can be expected, which means we're winning games, we're drawing games, we're losing games, and we're staying pretty even in terms of points, which for me this season is at least mid-table. And I'm okay with that, really I am. Honestly, in looking back, these past couple of seasons, finishing where we did was really kind of a gift. We got really, really lucky, and we're not going to get really, really lucky this season. That said, this is the last 2 games we're going to play before the January transfer window. And if we do finish mid-table, that means there's still half a season to tank. So, positive thoughts here. I'm trying to be positive. I'm positive we're going to do our best not to tank. How about that? My name's FM Jellico, and this is the Red Devils Rising. And as you can see here, things went about as well as expected against some really good opponents. Against Bayer, we made them earn it. There's no two ways about it. It took a Jonathan Todd goal in the 85th minute for them to get the winner. Up until that point, it was a really even game. Mazzini has been really good for us between the sticks. They had 20 shots, 14 on target. We had 12 and 5. Their XG was 2. Our XG was 1.83. So we were really close. The Todd goal was really nice, though. But they were just absolutely gassed at the end of the game, and we just couldn't capitalize on it. That said, I'm not upset by the guys' performances at all. De Graca has turned into the player we thought he was going to be. For a guy picked up on a free, he's been the absolute signing of the season so far. He's 4-star current, 5-star potential, which means he may or may not get that. I don't know why his determination is dropping, but I suspect, if he has a stellar season, he could be leaving in the summer, and we're going to make a decent amount of money off of him. Against Borussia Dortmund, it took 2 goals for them. Against Borussia Dortmund, it took 2 goals for them in the 80th plus minutes for them to win. And frankly, that's just because the team essentially died at the end of the game. Everybody was tired. Markovic had a really good game. Despite the fact he's 29 years old, he is still improving in a couple of areas. He's turned into a solid addition to the squad. But as you can see here, let me click this. Vallejo scored. Goebbels scored. That's the wrong game. We want Borussia Dortmund. As you can see here, Markovic scored in the 7th minute, and then Giovanni Reina had a goal in the 38th minute to equalize it. And then they got a goal in the 86th minute. In the 82nd minute. As you can see here, Markovic scored in the 7th minute to get the scoring started. Giovanni Reina had a goal in the 38th minute. Then he put them ahead in the 82nd minute. Then Erling Haaland scored in the 86th minute. I thought we were doing really well to hold Haaland to 1 goal. He still had a 7-5. Frankly, their whole team was just really, really good. And we did well enough to hold them to 3. I'd say that's pretty good. They absolutely ran us into the ground, and it wasn't even funny. And the kicker is that they've still got really good players on the bench too. So, their B squad probably would have had a problem against us. So we got ourselves right against VfL Wolfsburg, though. Gennaro had an 8th minute goal. Goebbels a 39th minute goal. Vallejo, an extra time goal. We absolutely FM'd them. I say we got ourselves right with the victory, but frankly, it wasn't really all that earned. We had 7 minutes of extra time in this game, if I remember correctly. And it was just one of those where it was like, holy cow. By all rights, this should have been a draw. They had 22 shots, 12 on target. We had 9 and 5. Cleaver had a goal. Haber had a penalty kick for them. We gave them their money's worth. The guys had a really solid game. They turned in some really nice performances, but this should have been a draw. Like the Hoffenheim game was. Goebbels had a goal in the 83rd minute. Vallejo a goal in the 68th minute. Ended up being 2-2. Stats-wise, they were a little bit better. They had 25 shots, 12 on target. We had 21 and 8. The FM gods got their revenge by giving them an FM goal in the 94th minute for them to claw the drawback. And frankly, as much as I want to be upset about that, I really can't, seeing as how we absolutely got one over on Wolfsburg the week before. So that leaves us currently in 9th place on 20 points. William Goebbels leads us with 14 goals. Stefano Mazzini, a 7.44 rating. Bresciani, 6 assists. Jamelka, the best pass completion rating. Goebbels, Vallejo, and De Graca each have 2 players in the match. I got 2 players on 3 yellow cards. Geno had the straight red in the one game. In our 15 matches played, our 33 goals scored are second best. Our 33 goals allowed are third worst. And that is pretty much going to be the story of the season. we're scoring goals in the hopes that we're scoring more than our opponents. Because frankly, our defenders, they're good. They're just not good enough across the board. And I suspect if we get any sort of money this offseason, the vast majority of it is going to be towards improving the defense. Injury-wise, we're doing okay. John Bonch is the only player who is out. He's currently a youth player. Mamadou Ducouré is back from his torn back muscle. Matias Sosa is back from his hernia. And Marlon Ritter is back from his broken foot. I don't know how much longer Ritter is going to be part of the team, though. It says he's an emergency backup in his prime years, but he's been falling off. I have him listed. He's playing on the under-19s to get better. He's 2-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, and he's just not a Bundesliga quality player. I suspect probably 2 Bundesliga is the top of his ability, which is not a knock on him, I promise. It's just I can't count on him to contribute on a regular basis in the Bundesliga. So I've been doing a decent amount of scouting. Been doing a decent amount of like, hey, let's bring in some youth players and see how well they're doing. We'll take a look at these guys when they actually come in. So it's the Viking Dan, throw them in the van youth movement. You literally take a look at every 16-year-old player you can, and you search by things that matter to you, particular attributes or particular personalities, things like that. And you invite them in for a trial. You bring them in on 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, in 2 weeks of trials, you're gonna know everything you need to know about that player. In a weekend, you take a look at them, and if you can tell right away that they're not your sort of player, you cut them loose. And if they're the sort of player you like, you make an offer for them. At the worst, you may spend a little money unless they're like already valued at a bunch, and there's no way you're gonna pay that money to get them. And sometimes you'll find a diamond in the rough. So there, for some reason, I'm experiencing this in my other personal save as well. There are a lot of 16 through 18-year-olds available on a free, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You'd think they'd be picked up on a team, but you can go and do your scouting. Hey, show me these players who are available on a free. You bring them in on trial. You're not losing anything, and if they have some potential, you can turn around and sell them later for at least a little bit of money, I would think. But we'll have to see how that turns out. So today we are playing Mainz, and then we are going to play, I know this because I literally just looked at it, Hertha Berlin, enemy of the people, Hertha Berlin. So I'm going to double check my best 11, set the reserves, and we're going to come back with our match against Mainz here in just a bit. So we've got Mazzini in goal, Abu Jamelka, Bejker, and Felicioli as the defensive back four. Bresciani and Gennaro are in the midfield. Markovic and Vallejo are the attacking midfielders. Goebbels and de Graca are up top as the strikers. One of the things I am trying to do as we get a little bit further into the season is get some of my youth players sometime. So as a result, Thaki is on the bench. He is a young winger with a lot of potential. He's currently wanted by a couple of teams, which makes me believe that getting him some playing time and giving him some time on the squad here to show that, yes, you are a part of my future, especially because he is Markovic's intended replacement, it's not going to be a bad thing. Bello drives forward, kicks it up into space. Burkhart can't get to it. Jamelka bangs it forward, but it goes right to Niakate. Niakate? Koric, dispossessed, gets the ball to Gennaro, to Bresciani. Up into space for Goebbels. One-on-one with the keeper, and he near posts it. And for his 15th goal of the season, that was well struck. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this in the 3D. I spent 12 hours in the office today at my daytime job, and I came back and thought, you know what? I need to record. Let's record. So you can tell my speech is, I'm starting to whistle my S's. It means I'm a little tired. That was a nice goal. It was well done. Korik on the corner kick. Mazzini jumps up and grabs that. For as unsure about him as I was at the beginning of the save, he has turned into a very good keeper. I don't know that he will ever be world class, but he's definitely in the very good. Markovic, a soft shot. Ooh, the Mainz keeper couldn't handle it. It was banged away by a defender. Muller couldn't handle it. Hefty came in and kicked it away. Korik from the other side on a corner kick. Niakite hits the crossbar. Fraundorf to Bamba. Zanali. Back to Bell. Centers it to Shepelev, to Korik, to Fraundorf, back to Shepelev, knocked away. Oh, Goebbels gets it, gets by the one defender, doesn't really have a lot of help, takes the shot at Muller. He had DeGraka sitting in the center there, but I don't know that passing out the shot would have done much for him. Korik on the throw-in. Bejger knocks away to Gubbles. He's got some help, feeds DeGraka, and DeGraka's shot right at Muller's very soft. He has no problem stopping that. Bejger off the free kick and in. Well done. We try and practice set pieces every week. I have my training set up so that at least a couple of sessions, no matter if it's an attacking session or a defending session that week or the tactical session, that we get at least some sort of set piece training in. Abu on the throw-in to Gubbles. Back to Abu. Bresciani taps up to Gennaro. Back to Bresciani. Splits the defenders. DeGraka to Gubbles. Oh, his pass is intercepted by Ozanali. Burkhardt drives forward. No one in front of him. Oh, and he tries blasting it in, but my number 11, who is Bejger, stepped in front of him. That was well done. Mazzini with the goal kick to Jamelka. Gennaro bombs it forward. DeGraka got between the defenders. Go rounds the keeper. Muller came up and went to the ground, and DeGraka just absolutely went around him. That's one of the nicer changes to see in this year's FM. Last year, I know there were a lot of complaints that in this situation, they would kick it just right at the keeper. Muller came up and challenged him to DeGraka. A very nice sidestep, burying it in the back of the net. Whew, burying it in the back of the net. We are 3-0 up. It's only a half hour in. You know what? We are going to shout some praise at the guys. DeGraka. To Bresciani. Feeds Gubbles. Back out to Bresciani. Markovic to Abu on the right. Feeds Markovic. I don't know how he wasn't offside. And he scored. How did he score that? Holy cow. Bresciani feeds Abu. Markovic just absolutely finds a seam and gets it through. Something tells me that was more of a defensive mistake on Muller's part than it was any sort of offensive brilliancy by Markovic. Korik, and it's headed over the crossbar. Abu on the throw-in, it's knocked away. Korik ends up with the ball. He drives left, drops off to Frandorf, back to Korik to Bello. Shepelev, top left corner of the box. Feeds Korik. Burkhardt's there. Mazzini, a very nice stop. And Jamelka bangs the ball out of bounds. Yeah, Mainz isn't a bad squad. They're right behind us on the table. And with a 4-0 lead on 12 goals, 10 on target. Holy cow, we are being very, very clinical today. Hefty on the throw-in. Knocked away. Markovic intercepts the ball. Bresciani bangs it forward to Gubbles, who gets by the defender. And he blasts it past Muller for the goal. 3 minutes into the half. We are absolutely dominating Mainz. You know, with that in case, we're going to make a couple of subs in the 60th minute. Bring on a couple of the youngsters. How many is that for Gubbles? That's 2. Make our subs after this. Mazzini taps up to Jamelka, gets to Bresciani, out to Hugo. He's got help to Felicioli. DeGraka. Gubbles, top of the box. Back to Gennaro. Bresciani. Markovic to Abu. Oh, the pass was errant. Zagrova has it. Bangs it up into space. But Mazzini's going to come up and grab that. He gets it out to Felicioli. Felicioli? I'm not quite sure. DeGraka blows by one defender. And he hits the crossbar. Bello knocks it out of bounds. We are going to make a couple of subs. We're going to bring Soro on for Bresciani and swap him in Gennaro. We're going to bring Thaki on for Markovic. And that's the only change we're going to make right now. I suspect probably around the 75th minute mark we'll have to bring Gennaro off. Zagrova knocks the ball away. Berisha gets by the one defender, but not the other. Bejger forces him to kick the ball wide left. Well, about 76 minutes in, we're going to take Vallejo off. He's a little bit more gassed than Gennaro. So we will bring on Ilarugi. We're playing Hertha in like 4 days after this, so it's possible like Tuazi and some of the others may actually get a start. That ball was banged all around. Bello hits the post. That's 2 woodwork hits for them. They're only calling 1, though. They had one that went off the crossbar earlier, didn't they? Or am I just seeing things? Hefty to Bamba. Centers it in, but it's knocked away. Shepelev's going to run it down. Bello. Back to Shepelev. Onyeka. Bamba takes the shot off the crossbar again. Ilarugi gets the ball. And the highlight ends. Holy cow. How are they not counting that as a woodwork hit? Jamelka gives the ball away to Bell. Now it's in extra time. Abu just bangs it forward. De Gracke got behind the defenders. And he dinks it over Muller, but he dinks it too hard and it goes over the goal. And that is the game. We beat Mainz 5-0. A brace of goals by Goebel. A goal by Betschker, De Gracke, and Markovic. 4-0 up the half. A solid game by everyone. Continental No. 7th is Continental Qualification in the Bundesliga? Wow. Okay, I got to check. Hold on a second here. We are going to save this real quick. And then we're going to check out why on earth that is Continental Qualification. It says Euro Cup 2 Reckoning. Wow. So if you finish in 6th, you get to the Euro Cup group stage. I never even, to be honest, I don't even know what the Euro Cup 2 is. It's got to be this. That's interesting. There's some good teams in here. And Hertha won it last year. So if, let me get this straight. So using a basketball reference, if the Champions League is the NCAA playoffs and the Europa League is the NIT, is the Euro Cup like the Division 2? I don't know. So we will be back with our game against the aforementioned enemy of the people, Hertha Berlin, in just a bit. Should be a good game. Well, Hertha is 3rd in the league. I did not realize that. It's a mildly, barely, a little bit rotated side. We got Mazzini in goal, Magahalis, Jamelka, Betschker, and Felicioli as the defensive back 4, Bresciani and Gennaro as the midfielders, Markovic and Tuazi as the attack midfielders, Goebel and De Gracke up top as the strikers. I did get a notification that De Gracke's release fee is only $4.1 million. So it is quite possible he could be leaving a lot sooner than I want him to leave. Half hour in, this is the first highlight. Flikioli to Tuazi. Bresciani's dispossessed. Goes to Piatek. He gets by the one defender. Gets it to Magna, who blows by the other defender and absolutely buries it. Talis Magno. I don't recognize that name, but to be honest with you, that's nothing new. Piatek I recognize. He starts out on Milan, if I recall. We can take a look at that here in a little bit. Just absolutely blew it by Mazzini. Yep. God, I heard the bottom for 22. Take a look at Talis Magno here, too. With a name like that, you'd think he'd stand out and you'd remember him. Hertha's absolutely dominating us. 13 shots, 5 on target to our 6 and 2. We have a possession advantage, but, what good is that going to do you? Talis Magno. He's 21 years old. He's got one of those, so he's not a regen. Benfica, VDG, Vasco da Gama in Brazil. First highlight of the second half, 67 minutes in. After this, we're going to make a couple subs. Meyer to Netz, back to Meyer, and his shot goes wide left. So we are going to make a couple of substitutions here. Gennaro is a bit on the gas side, so we are going to bring on Gergic. I want to bring on Bresciani. No, Gubbles is not having a good game. So what we're going to do is bring on Vallejo and then swap him and Tuazi. Gubbles just got a bonus, too, for 15 goals in the season, so of course he's going to have a bad game. Come on, guys. Gergic sends it in. Tuazi's there, blocked. Hugo's there, and he scores. Well done. Tuazi, a nice header. Whoa, the Hertha keeper did really well to block the first shot. Almost blocked the second one. Youngworth is his name. Okay. And they just switched to a 4-2-4 as well. Magahalis to Tuazi. Loses it. Magahalis crosses it in. Hugo's there, and he scores again. Holy cow. What a pass by Magahalis. That was entirely unintentional. Tuazi kicked it. Torniga knocked it away. Magahalis, it wasn't exactly a desperation cross, but he hit it before it went out of bounds, and the Hertha player went up for the header and totally whiffed it. Who was that? That had to have been one of the defenders. I don't think it was Camavinga. And we win 2-1. Vallejo, a brace of goals. I want to see this again real quick. So Tuazi crosses it in. Magahalis does it. The number 5 totally whiffed on the header. So that was Stark. Yeah, it was Stark. The number 5 went up and totally missed the header, and Vallejo was there to score. Holy cow. So even though Hertha had more shots and more on target, we win 10-5. Possession equaled out. We got the FM gods smiled upon us. That's all there is to it. So Hugo Vallejo, a brace of goals after he comes in as a sub. And that was well done. We have moved up into 4th place. It's not going to last. It can't last. So mid-table definitely. If we qualify for that Euro Cup 2 thing, we qualify for that Euro Cup 2 thing. You know, I didn't even check and see what sort of money or anything you got from that. And frankly, every little bit counts. So what we are going to do is we've got the winter transfer window, or the winter break coming up. We don't have a game until the 13th of January. So I got to set the training up so the guys don't at least, come back completely bereft. We have a friendly against Piast. Okay, Polish is hard. I'm reasonably sure that's not pronounced how that looks at all. And that's my fault. And then we're coming back against Bayern and Eintracht Frankfurt. But we got a Pokal third round match here. So what I'm actually going to do is skip the Bayern and Eintracht Frankfurt match. We're going to come back with Leipzig and Wolfsburg. We've only got 1.4 million in the transfer budget, and I'm over on my wage budget by 9,000 euros. I don't think we're going to be moving. I don't think we're going to be bringing anyone in. It's possible we might be moving players out, and that, we'll do what we can to keep them, but I can't guarantee anything. So that said, a couple of really good games today. I'm more surprised by the Mainz result than I am the Hertha result. The Hertha result was just luck. The Mainz result was us absolutely dominating them from beginning to end. And, it helps our goal differential, which I think is going to come into play near the end of the season, seeing as how a lot of the teams are so clustered together. But, a couple of really solid games. William Gubbles has turned into is the player I thought he would be when I signed him. Everyone's contributing. The one thing I did want to show was our under 19 squad has been absolutely dominating everybody. So, and Dustin Bloom is a 2-star, current 5-star potential player who has been absolutely tearing it up. Got him in on a free. That's my wife coming home, and I need to go help her bring in the groceries. So we'll take a look at this next time we look. That said, if you did like what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticism, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM21, and I thank you for watching.